Hey everyone! If you're new to the channel, you wouldn't have a way to know, but if you're a regular one, you probably noticed that it hasn't been new video for more than 2 weeks. What happened during those 2 weeks, you might wonder? Well, not much. I was just taking a break, or I just decided to cancel the entire dual capital card idea. I created 3 brand new capitals from scratch, finished the prototype 5.0, the actual print-ready file, launched the game on Tabletopia and already hosted 5 play sessions out there, decided to re-illustrate every single character card in the game, and finally started the enormous task of illustrating those new capital landscapes, prepared the full final rulebook for the game, prepared the playtest tournament to start very soon, and after getting some tough feedback, changed a couple of core cards entirely. Oh, and I also changed the logo and the name of the game. This logo that you are seeing here is not the final one yet. I'm working on it. So, yeah, not much. Welcome to another episode of the creation of a card game. On today's episode, we have a lot of things to unpack, but let's start with the main thing, which is the change of the name of the game. Why this change? Why now? Q-Boss was the name that was based on the first version of the game that I created 3 years ago, a board game, nothing to do with this, which was called Quests, Beasts and Other. Now we don't have quests and we don't have beasts anymore. It didn't make any sense right now, and it's not a great name. I received some feedback that Q-Boss is hard to pronounce, they don't know how to pronounce, it doesn't convey anything about the game, so I thought that it would be better to just, at this stage of the process, while it's still in the early days, it's the time to change the name if we have to. So Kravestorm is the most elected option from some surveys that I was conducting, some polls that I was running in Instagram and Discord, and it's also my favorite. Kravestorm is a great name because it conveys the idea of the game. It shows that it's a battle game. There's this storm charge into it. You feel the vibe of the game. Also, Crave, the characters, the whole world revolves around the addiction of nectar. Now, about the dual capital card that we were discussing on the last video, basically we are changing that because the idea was to have a dual card that you would just create a deck either on draft mode or just basically constructing. This mechanism was a nice idea. I used to think so, to have some way to cope with bad hands draw. Like we have a capital which produces 2 purple nectar and 1 orange nectar, let's say, and if you flip the card it says that it produces 2 orange nectar and 1 purple nectar. The idea was that after you draw your first hand, you have the ability to choose which nectar you want to be the main one that you will be playing with based on the hand that you were drawn. That's the theory part, but when we were actually testing out this new approach, this dual side capital, each player, including myself, we were just building the whole deck based on a specific face of the card itself. So it actually didn't reflect on any positive outcome because your deck would be already shaped thinking that you were going to play with a certain capital. So it didn't work out. It was a nice try, but it didn't work out. So what did I do instead? I created 3 additional capitals and I got rid of the B side of each capital, if that makes any sense. And now we have each of the 7 capitals produce a different distribution. So all the nectar types see themselves reflected on each capital in either first position, second position, or third position. This will be much better to create very customizable decks. If you want to mix blue with black, you can. If you want to mix white and orange, you can as well. Now you have much more freedom of choice when building a deck. As for the decision of redrawing each character on the cards, it came from simply looking at the table and seeing the cards there and thinking that the draws are a bit too cartoonish, a bit too childish maybe. And that's not the intention of the game. The game is intended to be ridiculous and absurd and nonsensical, yes, but I don't want it to be perceived as a child game. It's a game about addiction, it's a game about battling, killing, etc. So I want the cards to be a bit more adultish, like to look more tough and rough and more involved in this world. Also, the illustrations need to reflect the backgrounds of the capitals that they are relevant to, and the characters also need to be much more perceived as being under influence, not just being standing there posing for a picture. No, I want them to convey the idea of fight. So I want them to be in fighting poses, and also having the eyes darkened, the pupils dilated, and having this recipient to carry their nectar so they can fuel their power constantly as they are in the battlefield. As for the prototype 5.0, the final looking prototype, the layout, the card frame and everything, it's ready. There's nothing much to say about it. It's just basically looking better on the table. It's looking sharper and cleaner, and this is the way that I want to bring the game forward. And that's why I was waiting so long to create the game on Tabletopia so we can play it online and finally launch this playtest competition that I've been talking about for so long. I didn't want to rush into that before I have the prototype 5.0 finished. And of course, the rulebook, it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do regarding the creation of a card game, because it's a very hard and tedious and boring activity. You just have to conceive all the rules and put them in words that anyone can just open the book and understand what's going on. That's a very challenging yet very boring task, because it's not so exciting to just write text and text and text and create images and diagrams and you know what I mean. Now that it's done, I'm very happy that it's done, and here it is. It's not the final version. I probably mentioned it's the final version, but the name of the game and the logo will change, so this will be also have to be reflected on the rule book. So there's a lot of things that I still have to correct in the rule book. But anyway, we have a rule book, we have the prototype 5.0, we have the game on tabletop, we have a new name and fresh logo coming out, because the logo isn't still on the works. I cannot show it exactly how it will look like. We also have 7 capitals, we have very customizable decks, and a few cards that were changed to add more pace and more drama. Literally, there's a new card called Drama Enhancer. If you stick around for this video until now, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for being an active member in our Discord, in our Instagram, and everywhere else. If you didn't subscribe to this channel, please do so. Please like this video. It's very important. And that's all I have to say for now. So see you on the next video.